In this video, I want to go through the solution to the tire problem. Um, if you're looking for why you lost points on the looking back section or the identification problem section, you want to check out the other video that I posted for the solution here. So let's just go through the answer. I'll do that in a minute, but first I want to note a lot of you started out by taking the 4,000 and dividing it by 1,500 and getting 2.6 repeating tire changes. Okay, 2.6 repeating is, I can't have, or this was your reason, you can't have 0.6 repeating of a tire change, so you round it up to 3. 3 times 4 gives you 12, and that was your reason why it couldn't be less than 12. Now, the problem with that is you're making the assumption that isn't correct, or an assumption that isn't correct. We don't need to change every tire every time we change them. We just need to change them in a way that gets us to the right number. So although this isn't a wrong thing to calculate, it gives you the wrong answer this time. Okay, when I go to the next slide, I'm going to start the solution to the problem. So these are the things you need. It's actually more correct to take 4,000, which is how far I'm going, times 4, which is the number of tires on the car. That gets me that I need to go 16,000 miles total, right? As far as all the tires traveling, they need to go 16,000 miles. If I take 16,000 divided by 1,500, which is how much I can go per tire, I get 10.6 repeating, 10 and 2/3. This tells me an important thing. It can't be less than 11 tires. Okay, I do need to use whole tires, so it can't be less than 11. A lot of you missed that fine detail of you need to tell me why it can't be less than your answer. And this is it. The math teases it out. If I need to go 16,000 miles and each tire can go 1,500 miles, the most, or I need at least a total of 10.66 tires. My labels aren't great here. This should be 1,500 per tire, which would get me total tire instead of total per tire. But anyway, 11. You've got to have this. It can't be less than 11, and I think this calculation is the best way to do it. Now, if you want to show me 11 is enough, you need to do something where you show me 11 is enough. Let's call our tires, our 11 tires, A, B, C, D, E, F. Sensitive screen over here, non-sensitive. G, H, I, J, and K. Okay, there are the 11 tires I'm going to use named. So I'm going to fill in this table, and I'm going to note how much wear they'll have at the end of each of these sections here. So notice here I've got my mile range. So our first mile range is 0 to 500. On the front right, I'm going to have tire A, so that'll be 500. On front left, I'll have tire B for 500, tire C for 500, and tire D for 500. Okay, so after the first 500 miles, I've used these 4 tires, each 500 each. Now, for the second 500, I'm going to leave tire A where it is. That'll bring it up to 1,000. I'm going to leave tire B where it is, which will bring B up to 1,000. I'm going to leave tire C where it is, which will bring C up to 1,000, but I'm going to put on a new tire here and take it 500. Okay, so I'm going to get into tire E and use it for 500. For my next 500 miles, I'm going to use A one more time. That'll use up A. I'm going to use B one more time. That'll use up B. I'm going to use C one more time. That'll use up C. And I'm going to use tire F. Okay, so I've now blown through A, B, and C, and I've got 500 on D, E, and F. Now, for my next 1,500, I'm going to use tire D. That's the second time I've used it, so it will be up to 1,000. I'm going to use tire E. That's the second time I've used it, so it'll be up to 1,000. I'm going to use tire F. That's the second time I've used it for 1,000. And I need a new tire, so I'm going to use tire G. It's the first time I've used tire G, so it's only at 500. Okay, now, again, I'm going to use tire D. That will use it up. I'm going to use tire E. That will use it up. I'm going to use tire F. That will use it up. And I'm going to use tire G. That will get tire G to 1,000. So I've now just knocked off D, E, and F. I can't use those anymore. However, at this point, I've only used 7 tires because I have used G, and I only have 1,500 miles to go. So for the last 1,500 miles, I can use H, sorry, wrong color, H, J, sorry, HI, let's say, J for 500, K for 500, and then, again, I can use H, get it up to 1,000, I will get that up to 1,000, J will get that up to 1,000, and K will be at 1,000. And then one more time, H to 1,500, used up H, I to 1,500, I've used up I, J to 1,500, I've used up J, and K to 1,500, I've used up K. From this table, I just showed how we could use 11 tires to make the whole trip. Now note, I did say a lot of words in there, so just the table itself with no explanation wouldn't be enough. But a table like this with a few words saying what it is and how it works and how it shows you can use just 11 tires would be enough. Okay, that is everything you need for your analysis section. You need the answer, the right answer of 11. You need to show why it can't be less than 11 by doing some kind of math, probably like this. Then you also need how you can make that happen. I'm not going to highlight all of this, but how you could do it with 11 tires. Now, I just have a couple of notes. You don't need any of these other notes in your explanation. But notice tire G still has 500 miles on it. And that matches up with what we said. That's a third of G's life. So in fact, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 2/3 of G for 10.6 repeating tires. Right? We used exactly 10.6 repeating tires. I also want to note you can't always do this. If instead the trip had been 750 miles total, well, we could have taken 750 times 4 to get 3,000, and then take 3,000, divide by 1,500, and that would give us 2 tires. We can't use 2 tires because the car has to have 4 tires on it. So just because we could do this division and get the right answer here, that doesn't mean that that was necessarily the right answer. It just gives us a lower bound. You couldn't do this with less than 2 tires, but you also couldn't do it with less than 4 because when you went to put the tires on, you'd have to have 4 of them. All right, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please email me. I'm happy to help you get the rest of those points back, and I hope you have a nice paper rewriting time. I was going to say day. I guess day works. Have a nice day.